in material contact, just like a person in drunkard condition. His mind is the enemy. There is a nice verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna bhuliya jeev bhogovancha kare, pasete maya tare japutiya dhar. The mind, I am his spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. As soon as the mind is contaminated, I rebel, because I have got little independence. Why shall I serve Krishna or God? I am God. It is simply a dictation from the mind, and the whole situation turns. He is under false impression, illusion, and the whole life is spoiled. And who has failed to do so? If we fail to conquer the mind, we are trying to conquer so many things, empire. But if we fail to conquer our mind, then even we conquer an empire, that is a failure. His very mind will be the greatest enemy. God.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same.
That's God.
A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same.
Yeah. When the mind is in equilibrium, then this position comes. Pebbles, stones, or gold, the same value. God.
Purport. Book knowledge without realization of the supreme truth is useless. This is said as follows in the Padma Purana.
Yes, Padma Purana, there are 18 Puranas. There are men are conducted in three qualities: modes of goodness, modes of passion, and modes of ignorance. To reclaim all these conditioned souls in different varieties of life, there are presentation of the Puranas. The 6 Puranas are meant for the persons who are in the modes of goodness, and 6 Puranas are meant for the persons who are in the modes of passion, and the 6 Puranas who are in the modes of ignorance, those Puranas are meant for them. This Padma Purana is meant for the persons who are in the modes of goodness. In Vedic rituals, you find so many differences of ritualistic performances. It is due to different kinds of men. Just like you have heard that Vedic literature, there is a ritualistic ceremony offering goat sacrifice in the presence of goddess Kali. But this Purana, Markandeya Purana, is meant for the persons who are in the modes of ignorance. Just like a person is attached to eat meat. Now, if all of a sudden, if he is instructed that meat eating is not good, or a person is attached to drink liquor, if he at once said that liquor is not good, he cannot accept. Therefore, in the Puranas you will find, all right, if you want to eat meat, you just worship goddess Kali and sacrifice a goat before the goddess, and you can eat meat. You cannot eat meat or flesh by purchasing from the slaughterhouse or butcher's house. You have to eat in this way. That means restriction. Because if you want to perform the sacrifice before the goddess of Kali, there is a certain date, there is a certain paraphernalia you have to arrange for that, and that puja, that worship is allowed on the dark moon night. So dark moon night means once in a month, and the mantras are chanted. In this way, the goat is advised that you are sacrificing your life before the goddess Kali. So, you get immediately promoted to have a human form of life. Actually, it happens. Because to come to the standard of human form of life, one living entity has to pass through so many evolutionary processes. But the goat who agrees or who is by force sacrificed before the goddess Kali, he gets immediate promotion to the human form of life. And the mantra says that you have got the right to kill this man who is sacrificing. Mansa. Mansa means that he will also eat his flesh next birth. So in this way, the man who is sacrificing will come to his senses. Why eating this flesh? Then I'll have to repay with my flesh. Why shall I do this job? You see? The whole idea is to restrain him. So there are different kinds of Purana. 18 Purana.
Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada. So, who remembers where Prabhupada started today?
Well, it began with the verses from the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita about how the mind can either be our best friend or our worst enemy. And Prabhupada made the point of when we get this minute bit of independence, we turn away and we begin to think, we get into Maya, thinking that we are the controllers when it is not so. It is Krishna that is controller, and and the truth is that we are minute particles of Krishna. It's sort of where it began.
Very
And
good.
then he went from there to talk about the mind in the state of equanimity, as sort of a goal or aspiration, and that in that state of equanimity that we can see pebbles and stones as gold, and gold as having equal value.
So the mind can be the best friend or the worst enemy. We have a choice. We have to be very careful with this powerful force of the mind. What else did Srila Prabhupada say?
That we're trying to conquer the mind. right? That the goal that, you know, like we're setting around to conquer all these things like empires, but really our goal is to conquer the mind so we can bring it to a state of equanimity and ultimately to worship of Krishna and absorption in Krishna. But he was saying that, you know, if you spend all your time trying to conquer everything else, it's just a waste of life.
Very good. What about the
And then
Puranas? What did Srila Prabhupada say about the Puranas?
he said of there are 18 Puranas, and that one set was dedicated to each set was dedicated almost to one of the gunas, and he was talking about the one Puranas that was geared towards sattva as opposed to those the other ones, and then he began to speak about the very fascinating thing about the sacrifice of the goat to Kali. So that's something I know I had never heard before, that the goat would instantly be granted a human birth, but then also in that human birth, the goat would then would eat the person who sacrificed him, because I guess that person would take an animal birth, and so that was very fascinating.
And also one very nice point Srila Prabhupada highlighted. It's actually a great favor to the goat because it did not travel to the entire 8.4 million species again to get back to the human form of life. So it's like all of a sudden. So that is one favor. But again, that mantra is also chanted that next life the goat has the right to kill the person who is doing this sacrifice. So it's in one sense cautioning the person who is doing the sacrifice, restraining him. And then it can be done only on a particular day. It's not that every day it is possible.
And so to that end, the whole purport was that these Puranas that are directed to those in the mode of ignorance are about progressively restraining them. You know, like if you can't go cold turkey and just say don't eat meat or don't drink liquor, this sort of makes it more challenging. So then you're sort of inherently eating less meat because you can't just do it so quickly. It's also interesting to think about, as I understand it, that practice got very degraded over time, and that people, even in India, justified the slaughtering of animals on a more mass scale, and that's ultimately, as I understand it, what Buddha was, you know, kind of came and was like reformed that piece. It said, no, you can't eat animals.
Very good. So Krishna is so wonderful that no matter what level of awareness we're on, he provides a path to citizenship. One time we were in Georgia, we asked directions from this one man. He said, "Oh, you can't get there from here. Let's go talk to somebody else." Because you can get to anywhere from anywhere. And Krishna is so wonderful that he's concerned for us. And he's already very explicitly and elaborately and completely provided directions, no matter what level we're on, so that we can be uplifted. Okay, let's go on with the Srila Prabhupada's talk.
Because the whole Vedic literature means to claim all kinds of men. Not that those who are meat eaters or those drunkards, they are rejected. No. Everyone is accepted. But there is just like you go to a doctor. He'll prescribe you different medicine according to the different disease. Not that he has got one disease, one medicine. Whoever comes and offers that medicine. No. That is real treatment. So gradual. But in the Shaktic Puran, they are meant for immediately worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no gradual process. But gradually, one who comes to this state, he is advised. So Padma Puran is one of the Puranas in the modes of goodness. What does it say? Go on.
It says in the Padma Puranam, no one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him.
Yes, this is very important. Now, Krishna, we are accepting Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Now, how we accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord? Because it is stated in the Vedic literature, just like in the Brahma Samhita, Ishara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Imagination. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, they are imagining the form of God. And when they are confused, they say, oh, there is no personal God. It is all impersonal or void. That is frustration. But actually, God has got form. Why not? The Vedanta says, Janmadasya Jataha. The supreme absolute truth is that from whom or from which everything emanates. Now, we have got forms. So we have also, must have been, not only we, there are different kinds of forms of the living entities. Where from they come? Where from this form is originated? This is very common sense question. If God is not a person, then how his sons become person? If your father is not a person, how you become a person? This is a very common sense question. If my father has not a form, where from I get this form? But people imagine, because when they are frustrated, when they see that this form is troublesome, therefore God must be formless. That is an opposite conception of this form. But Brahma Samhita says, no, God has form, but he is Sachidananda Vigraha. Ishara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Sat Chit Anand. Sat means eternal. Sat means eternal, Chit means knowledge, and Ananda means pleasure. So, God has form, but he has got a form which is full of pleasure, full of knowledge and eternal. Now compare your body. Your body is neither eternal, nor full of pleasure, nor full of knowledge. Therefore God has form, but he has got a different form. But as soon as we speak of form, we think the form must be like this, that we opposite, no form. That's no knowledge. That is not knowledge. Therefore the Padma Purana says that you cannot understand about the form, name, quality, paraphernalia of God with these material senses. Atasya Krishna namadi na bhavet grahyam indriya. By your sense speculation, because your senses are imperfect, how you can speculate on the Supreme Perfect? That is not possible. Then how it is possible? Sevanmukhi jivhado. If you train your senses, if you purify your senses, that purified sense will help you to see God. Just like if you have got some disease, cataract, on your eyes, that does not mean you cannot see, because your eyes are suffering from cataract. You cannot see. That does not mean there is nothing to be seen. You cannot see. Similarly, you cannot just conceive what is the form of God now. But if your cataract is
Okay, let's stop
removed,
again
you
for a
can
few
see.
minutes. Reflect.
That is required.
Where does Srila Prabhupada start this time?
He started with this beautiful saying that we can only know God by, I wrote this one down, spiritually saturating ourselves by the holy names. When we're spiritually saturated by the holy name, we can thus see God or conceive of God. We can't expect to see God with our material tainted eyes and our material senses, which are by nature flawed. And then he went on quite a bit to speak about how, of course, God has form. We are from God. And so, how can we have form if God does not have form? That his form is Satchitananda Vigraha, and I really love the point of like, our body isn't eternal, our body isn't full of knowledge, our body isn't full of bliss, but Krishna's is, and it's a spiritual body. And so the opposite of form is not that we have form doesn't mean that God is formless. That doesn't really make sense. If, like he says, if my father is form, then I must have form. So it was a very convincing, loving argument for God as form.
Jai Jamuna Jaya.
He also said that anybody could become Krishna consciousness, even if you're a drunkard. It doesn't matter. Just as if somebody was to go to the doctor, anybody could go, and the doctor would have a certain prescription of how to get you well.
I'm sorry. The senses must be purified. With contaminated senses, we cannot see. Some people reason because my form has suffering and God must not be like that, then therefore God has no form. But it's not that he has no form, but that is a spiritual form. And it can be perceived with spiritually purified senses, senses that have been purified by devotional service to Krishna. Sevan mukhi ijivadao, svayameva sparatyada. When the senses are purified by engaging in the service of the Lord, then the name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord are revealed. I think there was a question there, but
I have a question, Prabhuji.
say that again, please.
I have a question, Prabhuji.
Sure.
If the Bible says God is a spirit, and those worshiping him must worship him with spirit and truth, where does that fit in our philosophy? Because I know we tie in the scriptures a lot, the holy scriptures, with the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita.
I'm having trouble hearing your question. Maybe someone who heard the question can answer.
Can you draw an analogy with the Holy Bible's concept of God as the Holy Spirit with anything from the Bhagavatam?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
I think what I'd like to say this, that William, in our philosophy, there God can be perceived in three different ways. There is Bhagavan, which is God as person, Krishna. There's the Para Atman, that's Krishna within the heart. But there's also the Brahman aspect, and that is God sort of as the white light, as spirit, as energy. So that would be the correlation to what you're speaking about in Catholicism. We say are all, it's sort of the analogy is always given as the train. When you're standing waiting for the train at the subway, first thing you see is the light. Is the light the train? Yes. But then also the train has a form, and then ultimately there's a person driving the train. And so that white light is called the Brahma Jyoti, that sort of light spirit energy aspect. That would be sort of the best analogy, I would think, to what you're speaking about in Catholicism. Does that make sense?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
We're having some trouble hearing, so it's hard for me to participate in this discussion. I wish I could help.
Adi, can you hear us? Oh no.
I know, because we could hear Adi, so I wonder, yeah.
Oh, you can
Maybe
hear
continue
me.
with Prabhupada.
I'm suffering from a temporary.
Premanjana Srila Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayesu Vilokanti. The Brahma Samhita says that devotees whose eyes are anointed with the love of God ointment, such persons within his heart seeing God, Krishna, always 24 hours. Not that. So you require to purify your senses. Then you will be able to understand what is the form of God, what is the name of God, what is the quality of God, what is the paraphernalia of God. God has everything. That these things are discussed in Vedic literature. Just like Apanipada Javanagrahita. It is said the God has no hands or legs, but he can accept anything you offer. God has no eyes and ears, but he can see everything and he can hear everything. So these are contradictions. That means whenever we speak of seeing, we think somebody must have eyes like this. That is our material concept. God has eyes, he can see you in the darkness. You cannot see in the darkness. So he has got a different eye. God can hear if you are, God is in his kingdom, which is millions and millions of miles away. But if you are talking something, whispering, conspiracy, he can hear. Because he is sitting within you. So you cannot avoid God seeing and God's hearing or God's touching. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Patram puspam phalam tuyam jumi bhaktya prajachati taya bhaktya pahitam asnami prajatatmana. If somebody offers me flower, fruits, vegetables, milk, with devotion and love, I accept and eat. Now, how he is eating, that you cannot see in the present, but he is eating. That we are experiencing daily. We are offering Krishna according to the ritualistic process, and you see the taste of the food is changed immediately. That is practical. He eats, but because he is full, he does not eat like us. Just like if I give you a plate of food stuff, you finish. But God is not hungry, but he eats. He eats and keeps the things as it is. Purnasya purnamadaya purnameva avasishyate. God is so full that he can take all the food stuff that you offer, still it remains as it is. He can eat with his eyes. That is stated in the Brahma Samhita. Angani yasya sakalendriya vittimanti. Every part of the limb of the body of God has got all the potencies of other limb. Just like you can see with your eyes, but you cannot eat with your eyes. But God, if he simply sees the foodstuff you have offered, that is his eating. So these things cannot be understood at the present moment. Therefore, this Padma Puran says that only when one becomes spiritually saturated by the transcendental service to the Lord, then at the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord revealed. You cannot understand by your own endeavor, but God reveals to you. Just like if you want to see just now the sun, it is now darkness. If you say, oh, I have got a very strong torchlight, come on, I shall show you this sunlight, sun. You cannot show. But when the sun rises out of its own will in the morning, you can see. Similarly, you cannot see God by your endeavor because your senses are all nonsense. You have to purify your senses and you have to wait for the time when God will be pleased to reveal himself before you. That is the problem. You cannot challenge. My dear God, my dear Krishna, please come, I shall see you. No, God is not your order supplier, your servant. So when he will be pleased, you will see him. So our process is how to please him so that he will be revealed to. That is the real process. You cannot, therefore they are mistaking a nonsense a God. Because they cannot see God. Anybody says that I am God and accept it. But they do not know what is God. Somebody says that I am searching after the truth. But you must know what is the truth. Otherwise, how you will search out truth? Suppose if you want to purchase gold, you must theoretically know, or at least some experience what is gold. Otherwise, people will cheat you. So these people are being cheated, accepting so many rascals as God. Because they do not know what is God. Anyone comes, oh, I am God. And the rascal, he is rascal, and the man who says that I am God, he is also rascal. The rascal society, and one rascal is accepted God. God is not like that. One has to qualify himself to see God, to understand God. That is Krishna consciousness. Sevanmati jivhado sami vastrata. If you engage yourself in the service of the Lord, then you'll be qualified to see God.
Let's
Otherwise,
stop there for a minute, please.
yeah.
Where did Srila Prabhupada start in this section?
It started that God's body is not like our body. God can, we can only see with our eyes. We can't eat with our eyes, but God can eat with his eyes. He can see with his hands. He can smell with his ears. His body is completely spiritualized, and each part of the body can do what any other part of the body can do.
We have to purify our senses.
He gives some analogies, about it's dark and you want to see the sun. What does he say?
He says that sorry, go ahead.
He says you can't just get out a flashlight and go say to someone, oh, I'll show you where the sun is. Like imagine it's at night and you're like, we're going to go find the sun and I'm going to grab my flashlight and I'm going to show you where it is. Like as if you were looking for something under your bed. But he said that it's when the sun comes up, then it's very clear. And in the same way, you can't kind of summon God to you and you say, okay, God, you come now. He said he's not our servant and our order supplier. And that first, as Krishna Kumari said, we have to purify our senses and we have to serve God and please him. And then when he's pleased, he will reveal himself. And that's the process.
I really love that Prabhupada said that your senses are all nonsense. And he also said that the sun rises out of its own will in the morning. It's not demanded to rise. It rises out of its own will.
When I hear the rooster in the morning, automatically the sun appears. So I think it's the rooster that brings on the sun.
I'm with you, Bhima.
My neighbor's rooster crows during the day as well.
And thus the sun stays out.
Krishna wants us to see him. Krishna is ready to reveal himself to us. And we can show that we welcome that. It says he reserves the prerogative not to reveal himself to anyone and everyone. And in one sense, it's because of our desire not to see the Lord. People want to say, I am God, there is no God. They want to pretend about their own prominence. And therefore Krishna says, okay, I will fade away and not be present to you because you really don't want to see me. But when we're ready and the senses are purified, the name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord will be fully revealed. Krishna can do that.
I like what he said about how if you want to see God, you at least have to have some conception of what God is. Just like if you're looking for gold, you need to at least know what it is or have some experience with it. Otherwise, you'll be cheated. And then he talked about the rascals who come here. And obviously, at that time, like in the 60s, like a lot of people were coming from India and claiming they were God. And he was saying they were being cheated and people were believing them because they didn't know, who God was. You have to have some idea if you're going to search for the truth or search for God.
Yeah, we have to know what we're looking for. How will you find gold if you don't know what gold is like? People will cheat us. And there are many people cheating. They put themselves forward as Krishna's replacement. And other people who want to be cheated. And why do they want to be cheated? Because they're not ready to pay the price of real gold. We want to see Krishna, we have to be ready to give everything. Give up our ridiculous ideas of the way things work. Love wants to give all. Krishna wants to give you all. And yeyantamam padyante tam sataiva bhajam. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. When we give ourselves wholly to Krishna, then Krishna gives himself wholly to us. That's normal and possible. And Krishna's waiting. He's right here with us. He wants to show his love. We're the ones who closed the door. And Krishna's calling us, come back, come back. Okay? We're running right up to 8 o'clock now. If there's anything else anybody can remember, we're open to hear. I remember in 1974 hearing from this devotee, Rebhatinandan, explaining how he said, I was in a fallen condition. I was in darkness. I was confused. But Srila Prabhupada's grace, he reached out to us and called us and helped us to open our eyes. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master is opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him. Just like in this class, Srila Prabhupada is showing us the pathway and encouraging us to take it. Okay. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Here comes a conch shell. Oh, wait a minute. She's going back in. Coming out again. We have forgotten. But somehow or other, this is written in the heart. And when we hear it from the outside, we acknowledge, yes, Yes, that's true. Now I remember. Now I remember. Krishna is so wonderful. Just like in the Bible, there's that story of the prodigal son. The son went away, but the father was waiting. Okay, here comes the conch shell. Glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Shri Radha Muralidhar. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for keeping the yajna going. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, we love you. We hope we can hear that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhu's here. Hare Krishna. Okay, we had a question from earlier. How does one stay focused while chanting? Anyone who has any tips? How does one stay focused while chanting?
People do what while chanting?
Focused, stay focused. How does one stay focused while chanting Hare Krishna? On beats.
Does one focus?
I think you got it, Adipusha Prabhu. How does one stay focused?
We try.
We try. So, Shobha, keep trying. Keep trying. Yeah, there's one other tip that helps me personally. It's more a matter of time management and general management in life. That we make proper arrangements, make the time in the morning, make sure everything, the phone is put aside, and then we can focus. There's no magic here. There's no frequency. There's no secret. Just make arrangements, make the time, and chant as best you can, like Adi Prabhu said. Just keep trying. There's no magic secret. Keep trying and make external arrangements that facilitate the session. I'm preaching to the choir. I'm not qualified to answer that question because my job is all over the place. But by Srila Prabhupada's grace, I'm still allowed to be in the association of the devotees and allowed to do some service here and there. Thank you very much, dear devotees. I want to be like you more. Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We need the finisher. How about Devaki Priti Devi? Devaki Priti, please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, dear devotees.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Devaki Priti. Have a wonderful
Thank you
day.
very
Happy
much,
Monday.
Patricia.